What if a country was built entirely on your terms? No forced taxes, just a community of people who chose freedom over bureaucracy. This April, the world's boldest experiment in governance turns 11, and you're invited to the frontier. For 4 days, visionaries will gather to bridge the gap between blockchain, longevity, and the very future of civilization. Last year, we were joined by titans of industry and liberty, including Justin Sun, founder of Tron and Prime Minister of Liberland; Ron Paul, former U.S. Congressman and champion of individual liberty; Brock Pierce, Bitcoin pioneer and venture capitalist. Join us on April 10 to 13 at Ark Village in Serbia. Tickets are limited. Secure yours now.
My name is Jedlička and this is Thomas Walls. We are working on building the freest country in the world. For the last 10 years, we have gathered more than 800,000 people to help us build Liberland, which is a startup country in the heart of Balkans, which is 7 square kilometers, and it's, I would say, the most advanced and most developed startup country in this new millennia.
Yeah, that's right. Thomas Walls, Minister of Foreign Affairs. My job is to make sure that Liberland fulfills its role as a legitimate sovereign state in the eyes of international law, and also to help organize our representatives in many, many countries. We've got about 80 or approaching 90 representative offices in different countries throughout the world. And we have regular meetings, we have events in different countries, and we want a team that represents Liberland and that can spread our message and express it clearly.
Now, let's go back just a moment because, and I don't know where the initial spark of the idea came from, but you had the idea of starting your own country, which is a remarkable idea. Take me through a little bit of how you got to the point where you wanted to start your own country and what steps did you take?
For more than 10 years, we were fighting to make changes in Czech Republic, and at some point I realized it's very difficult to actually change existing society, that it might be easier to start from scratch, and that's where I believe we were right in many respects. Even though I'm very excited now about the latest elections in Czech Republic that brought 2 out of 4 political leaders that are forming the new government are actually our citizens, which tells you that there is something happening in Czech Republic as well. But in general, I was thinking, even if I was able to get into power, even if I made it to European Parliament, as I had this experience helping our friends to get there, you realize that these political systems were designed in the way that you cannot change anything from within. And if you want to bring about like a serious political change and inspire other countries, you really need to start from scratch and build up the things without legacy. So that's where literally I decided it's much better, much easier to basically start choosing the voters than try to choose a politician or try to get elected.
And there was an opportunity for you to actually start a physical country. There was a piece of land that became available. How did that come about?
We're looking systematically for like 2 years, which territory would be the easiest and best, and we had some experience from Birtaville. It's this territory between Egypt and Sudan. By the way, we recently opened our office there as well with one of our citizens that is also at this conference. But later we realized that Europe would be much better, and we were looking in Europe, and Liberland was this heart-shaped, beautiful heart-shaped territory between Croatia and Serbia with this small island next to it, which was really in like legal limbo. Nobody claimed it for more than 2.5 decades at the time, so we just decided to go for it. We went there, stick the flag, and the rest is history. And Thomas was with me from very beginning.
Yeah, I heard about it in the news just like everyone else, but as soon as I did, I got in touch with Vit and the team, and my first role was representative for United States. And we brought Vit to the US to speak at various conferences like Freedom Fest, and brought him to Washington, D.C., met with some congressmen and senators and some think tanks in Washington who gave us some pretty good advice on how we should approach the U.S. government, for example, to try to commence diplomatic relations. And we've had some success with that, I would say, in the United States. We're also reaching out to other countries too. We build bridges where we can, and I think we've also had some pretty good success for a startup country. We've sat down and had diplomatic talks with a number of countries, both in the Western Hemisphere and in Europe and Middle East and Asia. And we're pretty optimistic about what we can do with those. We've had very good relations with countries like El Salvador, very good relations with Argentina, whose president, Javier Milei, is a huge fan of Liberland, and he has stated so publicly many times. There's a few other opportunities we're looking at, some Caribbean countries, some countries in Africa that we've actually traveled to as a diplomatic delegation and sat down with the heads of government in some cases to talk about Liberland recognition, trade between those countries and the Liberland region. And I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunities that we can pursue.
No, for sure, and of course, many people were expecting that this is a summer holiday job. Now, building a country really takes a couple of decades, especially if you're starting from scratch. But we have this exclusive opportunity to utilize the latest technologies for it. And right now, the big topic of the day is, of course, how to utilize AI agents in our blockchain governance. So we're the first country that runs our business completely transparently with almost all of its business on-chain, meaning we're fully auditable right away. And when we are adding the system of AI on top of it, which will advise or maybe even run into Congress at some point, and then I think we are in a good position to build enormous amount of wealth.
Liberland is in former Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia was a fairly large country that existed from 1945 to the early 90s. And it was basically a federation of several socialist republics. Of course, it was occupied by Axis forces during World War II, and after the Allied victory, the partisans consolidated their wins and formed a government under Marshal Tito. And for many years, it was held together fairly well. It wasn't as repressive as the Eastern Bloc countries like Poland, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, etc. There was a slightly higher degree of freedom in former Yugoslavia compared to the Eastern Bloc countries. But as the Eastern Bloc countries actually fell, the people there felt the need that, well, we don't have to be part of this communist superstate. We can be our own republic. So starting with Slovenia, the republics, the former constitutive republics of Yugoslavia broke away. Slovenia was the first one. Then Croatia, which the Slovenia breakaway was pretty peaceful. There was some minor fighting, but the War of Croatia separation from Yugoslavia was actually pretty bloody, and it extended over several years. And the Homeland War, which basically is how Croatia refers to it, they were fighting against the former Yugoslav military, which is a pretty large military force. And a lot of people still living today have very, very hurtful memories of that time period. So it's a very sensitive issue. So as we are there in the Balkans, we have to keep that in mind, what many people went through, both on the Serbian side and the Croatian side. Some of the other republics that broke away and formed their own countries were Macedonia, now North Macedonia, Montenegro, which was still in a union with Serbia up until the 2000s. They've broken away and formed their own country. Kosovo is a debated matter. It was formerly part of Serbia. They declared independence from Serbia. Serbia, however, still claims it as the province of Kosovo and Metohija. So we don't get involved in that, since it doesn't really affect us. But there's some similarities with our case. We proclaimed independence in 2015. I think in the later 2000s, Kosovo declared independence, and that went to international courts. And they ruled that declaring independence is not illegal, and you can do that. If you are a people that wants autonomy and sovereignty, it's not illegal to declare independence. Of course, that ruling was not prejudiced towards whether they felt Kosovo is justified in being a state or not, but the act of declaring independence was declared legal in international law.
And that's what I love about Liberland, that we can be an experimental ground for all the latest stuff that can be later used on some other existing countries.
Now, Liberland is not exclusive to the people who are building Liberland right now. Anybody who would like to become a citizen and would like to participate in Liberland and in building up this new country, they can do so if they choose. Tell me a little bit about how someone can get more involved in Liberland or find out more information about Liberland, what options are available, maybe touch a little bit on the Liberland coin. I believe you actually have currency.
We've got 2 coins actually, or 2 tokens. Liberland Merit is the share of the country, and that's everybody that becomes citizen basically becomes an owner of this minimum amount of shares, 5,000 merits. And then we have a currency which was basically the first dividend of Liberland Merit, and that's called Liberland Dollar. And that is used for daily transactions, for example, in settlement, or it's used for our blockchain transactions. It's like a token in which you pay the fees. So these 2 tokens have been launched, and this year we're planning to launch Liberland Merits on global exchanges. I believe it's the right time for it. Once we migrate ourselves to Ethereum, we will be able to fully enjoy this, I would say, great liquidity pool that cryptos are having right now. It's just amazing world of decentralized finance. You don't need any permissionless ecosystem to which Liberland is already hooked, and we have a great opportunity to do the things in a completely new way that has been never done before. We don't need banks anymore, right? In Liberland, Liberlanders don't need banks because they're all a crypto crowd in the sense, and we are building up more and more recognitions by other jurisdictions when it comes to Liberland companies. We're building more recognitions when it comes to banking of Liberland individuals and companies, and now the passports are possible to use with crypto exchanges, and you can get crypto cards using your Liberland passport. So options are always growing, and it's kind of fun really to build things from scratch.
If someone wanted to come and visit and meet with you in person, let's say, and even look around Liberland or Ark Village, how can they get in touch with you? And then also, can you tell me, I know you have a yearly event that people can attend called Liberpoco. Let me know a little bit about Liberpoco and how that's gone in the past, and when the next opportunity is for someone to come and visit Liberland and engage in Liberpoco.
People can visit us at any time. Where I stay most of the time is Ark Liberland Village. That's located in Apatin, Serbia. Ark is the location for just about all of our major events that we host ourselves. Apatin, Serbia is right on the Danube River. It's almost across the river from Liberland, but it's down south a few kilometers. We're having Anarchapulco, as you asked about, in August of this year, 2026. We've already had 2 Anarchapulcos. Anarchapulco is the coming together of Liberland and Anarchapulco communities. And we're both very liberty-oriented communities. So we thought, why don't we have a festival together in Europe where people can go and travel and have a great time and learn more about Liberland, become citizens or e-residents, or even join our settlement. You can come and visit us at Ark Village at any time. Most country citizens don't need a visa to get to Serbia, and they don't hassle us in any way. So most people are welcome to visit and stay with us at Ark Liberland Village. We have about 20 nice cabins on a lake not very far from the Danube River. We're expanding that very soon into a development called Ark 2, which is going to be a resort and spa in this very interesting old Habsburg era building. It was a pump house that was built during the Maria Theresia era, and we're converting that into a beautiful resort and spa with some additional cabins back there. And I think maybe we'll break the ground on building some of the new cabins by the time of our anniversary. Our anniversary takes place each April. And usually around the middle of the month, because April 13th is the date of our anniversary. So this year our anniversary will be from April 10 to 13, and you can, go to our website and get more details on that, details on how to travel there, where to stay, some packages that will be available that include accommodation and transportation. So we try to make it as easy as possible for the attendees and Liberlanders who come and visit us. And you can also be a Liberland settler. It's a little easier right now for citizens of the European Union and Schengen zone countries to visit Liberland because they don't have too much problem crossing the border from Croatia into Liberland. Basically, there's an ID check, and you can go to the Liberland mainland and then Liberty Island, where we do have an active settlement. As the weather improves, we feel we're probably going to get quite a few more people there. Unfortunately, if you're not from the European Union or Schengen zone countries, the police may hassle you a little bit. Although I was there for 8 days, I observed as they started applying a little more scrutiny to people from outside the EU and asking them to leave Croatia for wanting to visit Liberland. We feel this is totally unfair, and we're challenging this in court. But right now, as of now, EU and Schengen zone citizens can visit Liberland itself. Otherwise, you can come visit us in Liberland Ark Village, or in some of our properties in Croatia, which are not in Liberland, but are just outside of Liberland proper.
And you can always get a nice boat ride from Ark into Liberland, so you can see all the developments on the Liberty Island and all the sandy beaches, and you can enjoy the sandy beaches right next to Liberland, which is open for anybody right now, and that will be again very popular from early spring. We're expecting like dozens of daily visitors. But just to remind, really the big event now is the Liberland anniversary in April, 10th of April to 13th of April. It's the launch also of this construction of this spa and of these cabins in the second development, and then we will have a major event also in June, another one, but then we are expecting to have two actually events in August. One of them will be Floating Man, 1 week away from Anarchapulco, so two basically festivals and conferences or kind of summit in August that will be very important for the development of settlement, but also for building up our physical presence in the whole region.
Just to add, you've heard of Burning Man in the desert. This is Floating Man on the river. And it's a really beautiful riverine forest area. And everyone who's been there has fallen in love with it. We're right at the edge of a national park where we live in Ark Village. And there's a lot of outdoor activities you can do: hiking, biking, water sports, jet skis, which are a lot of fun. And we have vessels. We have a number of river-going vessels that in which we take people up to Liberland. And I think you'll really enjoy it if you come visit us, either the anniversary or Anarchapulco or any one of our events, or any time really. You can stay at Ark Village at any time. Just book in advance.
Let's talk a little bit about the current state of Liberland, what someone would find if they went there. And what are some of the obstacles that you're facing right now that once cleared will lead you to the next iteration or evolution of Liberland?
Oh, right now we cannot talk about everything that is in making, but there is a great chance that the whole situation with these problems with access for non-EU people will change, and that also our access will be much easier. Right now we cannot really access Liberland by boats, which is funny, but that's how Croatians have orchestrated it. We can actually come with bikes to Liberland, and we can bring stuff and construction material, but it's a bit challenging. They made it a little bit more difficult for us than we would like to. That doesn't mean we haven't built three houses in the autumn and in summer last year, and that they are actually staying there quite successfully. But again, there is a great chance that all these things will change in the next 3-4 months, and then we will be able to go big on construction. Even if that doesn't change, our plan is still to build 5 to 6 more by the beginning of summer, and then finish the next. We have in total 26, so probably finished another 18 by the end of the season, to have really nice village in Liberland and to get 200 people living in Liberland, which is a milestone for us because that's a time which we're expecting some bigger players to jump in, like Vitalik Buterin, that promised us that once we reach that, I would say, critical number, that he's ready to support the development of our nation and country in a more substantial way.
Put it very well about our immediate plans and opportunities that we have. I think the more people get engaged with us, and anyone who loves liberty can be a part of Liberland. It's fairly easy to understand what our goals are. And to people in the region, in Serbia and Croatia and Hungary and other surrounding places, we want to bring jobs and investment. And we've already brought a considerable amount of tourism to the area. It is my sincere aspiration that our neighbors in Croatia will want to cooperate with us and see the benefits that they could also receive from having a thriving, active Liberland community. Unfortunately, law enforcement has been given orders to make things difficult for us, pull you over for technical inspections of your car and things like that. But we are hopeful that we're reaching out to people in Croatian government. They were just discussing Liberland recently in Croatian parliament. So we reached out to the people who were talking about us to inform them better of what our goals are, what our plans are. We're certainly not going to be a vector for illegal migration into the European Union. We want to be a benefit for our neighbors, and we want to prove that. So if they would just allow us the chance to demonstrate that, I think we would all come away with a better quality of life, more jobs for the people there. That region has lost a lot of jobs in the past 30 years or so after Yugoslavia fell. And so I think we can have a happier, healthier, and more prosperous Danube region, and I think we can do a lot for that.
No, for sure. And we are already building not just Ark, but also this business center in Croatia, in Batina. We already have some wine cellars there, which are quite nice. We are planning on building a data center and potentially also a power plant, which is something which we're discussing with some bigger investors. And yes, we want to make at least $10 million investment into development of the Apatin harbor in the next phase as well. So we are planning to spend at least $20-30 million over the next 2-3 years in the region to improve the infrastructure and really basically show that we're serious about building this hub for crypto entrepreneurs and for everybody that is liberty loving in Europe, which I really believe we need to build something like this in Europe because Europe has become really a little bit backwards on these things. And it's not just me saying it, right? It's also Marco Rubio saying it recently, or also the Chancellor of Germany recently noted that Europe has really went sideways. Instead of being champion in prosperity, has become champion in overregulation, and this is something which is really a sad story and again creates a great opportunity for something like Liberland to show the way.
I just wanted to point out, everyone listening, you can get involved in Liberland in a number of ways. We have Liberland organizations or offices in so many countries, but you can be part of that. You can form a Liberland sports team, or we actually have a chess club, which is pretty cool.
There will be the big event. We will have a Liberland Chess Open, and it's full of grandmasters and international masters already. So we're on the international level with that already.
We've had other Liberland cycling teams, basketball teams, wrestlers who wear Liberland jerseys representing us in different countries. So
we're planning MMA tournament in Liberland in summer as well.
We had one already during the fall of the first year. After the border opened, we had some MMA fighters come down from the Czech Republic, and we had that on the beach. We had a match on the beach. We had our first wedding on Liberland soil later that year as well. And you can get involved. You can go to our website and you can look up on the map portion overseas missions and look up the representative in your country. If there isn't one, or if they are somehow not responsive, you can reach out to us directly and we can get you involved in some way, and we can make a plan how to get you involved and be part of the Liberland family. We're a community first and foremost, and you're welcome to be part of that community.
Yeah, quite important. We have a freedom run on our anniversary on 13th during our national day. We are organizing 5-kilometer run inside of Liberland territory with pretty high prices for winners. And yes, again, anniversary will be big this year. It's 11th years, very substantial year, and we're not teenagers yet. We still need 2 years to get to teenage years, but Liberland is really becoming sooner or later an adult, which I think we will be able to protect our rights and rights of our citizens in a way that people will be surprised in very near future.
Take me into the future. Let's step into a time machine and let's assume that all restrictions have been lifted. You're free to move forward with the Liberland project that you want to build. 5 years have passed, let's say, and I go to Liberland. What am I going to see there?
Of course, obviously, if we didn't have these trouble with our neighbors, we would already have the highest building in the world. We actually do have a design for it and investors from Dallas for it as well. That would be fun. And I would love to have a big adventure park, not just for kids, but also for adults out of whole Liberland. Keep a lot of nature, make it free for floods to go through, but at the same time build a couple really high sky rises. It could be, we could build vertically. And by the way, fun fact, we would be 7 times more overpopulated than Macau which is most overpopulated place on planet. If we accepted everybody, we need to stick. I think when it comes to population, like 50,000-60,000 people, not to make it too overpopulated, and put them in like 2 or 3 high-rise buildings to not spread too much in the nature, which I think would be pity because there are such a beautiful oak trees, for example, and I think the nature should really be preserved, and the construction should be done above those trees or simply high rises.
We have some very good plans by the architect Sergio Bianchi, which does just that. It preserves the character of the nature in the region, but it allows for high-tech solutions to housing. Now, my preferred numbers might be a little lower than those, but we'll leave it the market to decide because we're a free country. But it would be a great thing to preserve that character of that region, which is truly beautiful. That's a big part of the appeal of it. Not just the Liberland story, but where it is. And that's certainly part of its identity. And I don't think we would do too many things to try to force a change on the identity. We want to grow with it, and that area needs some help as far as investment and development and tourism, and we think we can do that.
All right.
Great. All right. Well, before we wrap it up, is there anything else that I might have missed that you want to touch on? How can people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about Liberland or contact you directly, or maybe if they're thinking about visiting, how can they get more information?
One cool thing is that we have a mobile application which works as a messenger for Matrix, so it's one of the most secure protocols out there and decentralized ones. And you can easily find contacts in that mobile application. You can also find Liberlanders around you. The main purpose of this application is that our plan is to basically bring as much market to these services that government is organizing. So we're Uberizing the police. We are having markets for judges, and we will have also an election for our diplomatic representatives. So all of these things will be managed in the app, just like you will be able to basically do your vote through the app sooner or later directly on blockchain. So this will be a app for everything in Liberland, but really make all the decision making as transparent and as possible. If the government needs to buy something, it basically creates this incident on the app. It's distributed to everybody. Anybody can bid on it, and based on their reputation and based on their price and their deadline, people can see that the government is choosing the best services at the best cost. So this is an important part of the development of Liberland, to make it very easy for citizens to interact with the state, and this application is a great way. But of course, Liberland.org is the website where you can sign up for citizenship directly, do it within a couple of minutes. You can become a resident, take a first step, which only costs under $50, or you can decide to upgrade to full citizenship, which I believe is a great opportunity before Liberland merits go to markets, and then we will no longer be able to control the price of the citizenship.
And we let me add, we do want to encourage people to get the Liberland Services app, and it's got we're fine-tuning many of the features, and we're adding new useful features. It's got a very easy report a bug feature, where if you don't like something or something's not working right, you can report it. So our development team can take a look at it and fix and or improve those features on the app. So it's called Liberland Services app. It's on iOS, it's on Android, and it's going to be very useful, even more useful in the future.
Yeah, and what the cool fun fact is that AI is taking over the development of the mobile app right now, so it's going to be much faster, and it will be made not just for humans but also for AIs to basically interact. And so maybe you will find your job working for some AI agents there on the mobile app in very near future. It's kind of fun when AI is autonomous and is hiring humans to get stuff to get Liberland settled or to. So we are in this future already, and it's really cool to watch.
So yeah, we'd encourage you to join our United States team, our Canada team, our Mexico team, or over in Europe. We need some help over there too. So reach out and let us know. Liberland.org.
And in many countries we're still not physically present. We don't have physical offices, so there is still a great way to contribute by building the infrastructure of our diplomatic offices. Yes, and I have to tell you one more thing. One of the really exciting endeavors that we're doing is the mission to Somaliland. We're just decided to go ahead and build a gold mine there as part of our economic activities with the country that was the first one to recognize us. So if you have among your audience any people that are interested in gold mining or buying into the shares of gold mining, it is a great opportunity to do something extraordinary in that field, because Somaliland is a land of huge opportunities in this regard.
And it's very exciting because a lot of people in the Liberty movement appreciate the value and utility of gold, not just for coinage, but for trading and in use in industry. And instead of Krugerrand, we could mint Liberland gold coins. What do you think?
Yeah. No, for sure. But it's unbelievable. Like Somaliland has been only explored 6% of the territory so far, and the results are really outstanding. And nobody really bothered to buy any kind of technology for mining there so far. So the gold rush is starting this year, and we are at the very beginning of it. And why not? Like, they ask us, guys, if you want to get more recognized by us, if you want to follow up on the MOU, you should do some economic activity. And why not do economic activity that really makes sense, and it can be organized by our nation as a whole, right? So it's a great opportunity, I think, to invest into something highly profitable as well.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Vit, Tom, thanks for meeting with us and talking about Liberland, and I wish you all the best on developing the Liberland project.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure, and we hope to see you either at the anniversary or for Liverpool this year.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Scott. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You're, both on and off camera, you're a great font of knowledge and experience, and I think that's already benefited us greatly.
Imagine a place where your biggest dreams for a freer future aren't just ideas. They're the foundation of everything we do. Welcome to Liverpulco. From August 13th to 16th, we're coming together at Ark Village in Apatin, Serbia for a celebration of liberty like no other. Get ready for heart-to-heart talks with world-class speakers, interactive workshops designed to unlock your potential, and vibrant parties where you can dance under the stars. And you won't want to miss our signature boat cruise taking us all the way to the sovereign shores of Liberland. This is more than an event, it's where you'll find your tribe and help us build the world we've always wanted. Secure your spot in the movement today at liberpulco.com. Your community, your inspiration, your future. We can't wait to see you there.